welcome. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Or, I might show up at your door. I'm just here to share some creepy stories, so sit back and enjoy. Disclaimer: the content presented in the video is purely for entertainment purposes only. The theories and stories discussed in this video are speculative and are not supported by any evidence or proof. Viewer discretion is advised. Classified Operational Report Facility NORAD Communications Complex Alpha 7 Date Redacted Shift Supervisor Nolan Vex Classification Level Top Secret 0600 hours Shift Commencement Beginning Standard 12-hour monitoring rotation at Communications Complex Alpha 7 All primary systems operational. Personnel count 5 assigned specialists, all present and accounted for. Weather conditions nominal, no external factors affecting satellite uplinks or ground-based communication arrays. Current assignment roster confirms our operational expertise concentration. Liana Cross maintains her position as our primary cybersecurity analyst, her credentials from the NSA Cyber Warfare Division proving invaluable for our daily network integrity assessments. Her station occupies the northeast corner of the operations floor, surrounded by 6 high-resolution monitors displaying real-time network traffic analysis, intrusion detection systems, and automated security protocol status boards. Briar Hollis continues intelligence processing duties, interfacing with 17 international monitoring stations and 4 satellite communication networks. The intelligence desk maintains direct feeds from Pacific Fleet Operations, European Command, and Strategic Air Command. Hollis has developed an efficient system for categorizing and prioritizing incoming intelligence reports, maintaining situational awareness across all global communication channels without overwhelming our operational capacity. Sienna Mars manages our supply chain coordination and resource inventory systems. Her background in military logistics serves our facility's complex equipment requirements and maintenance schedules. The Supply Coordination Station tracks equipment status for over 400 critical system components, manages replacement part inventory, and coordinates with 7 external suppliers for specialized communication equipment. Jace Morvan handles tactical coordination and operational management, ensuring smooth integration between all facility departments. The Tactical Coordination Center maintains oversight of personnel schedules, security protocols, and emergency response procedures. Morvan's military operations experience enables efficient resource allocation and personnel deployment across our various operational requirements. 0630 hours. System Status Verification. Completed standard verification procedures for all primary communication systems. The Nuclear Command Network shows green status across all monitoring parameters. Authentication servers operational at 99.7% efficiency. Satellite uplinks maintaining optimal signal strength with all designated military communication satellites. Network security systems report normal traffic patterns. Liana Cross's morning diagnostics indicate standard background activity levels consistent with routine military communication traffic. Firewall logs show typical probe attempts from known sources, all successfully blocked by our automated defense systems. The intrusion detection algorithms identify no anomalous patterns requiring investigation. Intelligence feeds processed by Briar Hollis reveal routine global military activity. European theater reports standard NATO exercise communications. Pacific operations maintain normal submarine communication schedules. No intelligence alerts requiring immediate attention or escalation to higher command authority. Supply status verification completed by Sienna Mars indicates adequate inventory levels for all critical systems. Backup power systems maintain full fuel reserves. Emergency supply cache locations confirmed secure and accessible. Equipment replacement schedules on target for quarterly maintenance requirements. 0700 hours. Communication Protocol Review. Reviewing our emergency communication protocols as part of standard operational procedures. These protocols represent our facility's crucial backup systems, designed to maintain command authority even during catastrophic system failures. The manual override procedures, documented in Technical Manual 7 Alpha Priority, provide step-by-step instructions for maintaining nuclear command communications during cyber attacks or equipment failures. The backup communication array maintains independent power systems and hardened connections to 3 separate satellite networks. These systems operate on different frequencies and encryption protocols than our primary networks, providing redundant communication capability during crisis situations. Testing schedules require monthly verification of backup system functionality. Emergency supply caches located in sublevel storage areas B4 and B7 contain sufficient provisions for extended facility operations. Cache B4 houses communication equipment replacements, backup power systems, and specialized tools for equipment repair. Cache B7 maintains food supplies, water purification systems, and medical equipment sufficient for facility personnel during extended isolation periods. Manual override procedures for nuclear command systems require dual-key authorization and physical access to the secure override chamber. These procedures bypass all computerized authentication systems, providing direct manual control over nuclear communication networks. The override chamber maintains independent power systems and shielded communication equipment resistant to electromagnetic interference. 0800 hours. Routine maintenance schedule. Coordinating today's maintenance activities with all department heads. Primary communication arrays require routine antenna alignment procedures. Secondary backup systems need quarterly diagnostic testing. Network security systems require updated threat signature databases. Liana Cross schedules cybersecurity system updates for 1,400 hours during the period of lowest communication traffic. The updates include new threat detection algorithms and enhanced intrusion prevention capabilities. Testing protocols require isolated network environments to prevent interference with operational systems. Breyer-Hollis coordinates intelligence system maintenance with external monitoring stations. Satellite communication dishes require recalibration for optimal signal reception. Encrypted communication channels need authentication key rotation as part of standard security procedures. Sienna Mars manages equipment inventory updates and supply delivery coordination. 3 equipment deliveries scheduled for today: replacement server components, upgraded network hardware, and emergency supply replenishment. All deliveries require security clearance verification and equipment testing before installation. Jace Morvan oversees personnel scheduling for maintenance activities. Specialist rotations ensure continuous operational coverage during equipment testing and upgrades. Emergency response team assignments maintain readiness for any unexpected situations during maintenance procedures. 0900 hours. Network traffic analysis. Morning network analysis reveals standard communication patterns consistent with normal military operations. Traffic volume remains within expected parameters for current time period. Authentication requests processed normally through secure channels. Global communication network status indicates optimal performance across all monitored systems. European military communication networks report normal activity levels. Pacific Theater Communications maintains scheduled contact protocols. Atlantic Command networks process routine operational traffic. Liana Cross's automated monitoring systems track network performance metrics in real time. Server response times, data throughput rates, and connection stability measurements all indicate normal operational status. No performance degradation or unusual activity patterns detected. The Nuclear Command Network maintains its critical operational status. All authentication servers respond normally to system queries. Launch authorization systems remain secure and properly configured. Command authority chains function according to established protocols. 1000 hours. Intelligence briefing summary. Breyer-Hollis provides routine intelligence summary covering global military communications activity. NATO exercises in Northern Europe continue according to scheduled timelines. Russian Federation maintains normal communication patterns with submarine fleets and strategic missile forces. Chinese military networks show typical operational activity levels. International monitoring stations report standard diplomatic communication traffic. Embassy communications follow normal protocols. Military attaché reports indicate routine information exchanges between allied nations. No unusual diplomatic activity requiring special attention. Intelligence classification procedures ensure proper handling of sensitive information. All classified communications processed through secure channels with appropriate clearance verification. Intelligence reports distributed according to need-to-know protocols. 1,100 hours. Equipment status update. All critical systems maintain operational readiness. Primary communication arrays function at optimal efficiency. Backup systems remain on standby status, ready for immediate activation if required. Power systems operate within normal parameters. Network infrastructure components show normal where patterns consistent with expected operational lifespan. No equipment failures or performance degradation detected. Preventive maintenance schedules ensure continued reliability of all critical systems. Cybersecurity hardware maintains optimal performance. Intrusion detection systems process network traffic efficiently. Firewall systems block unauthorized access attempts successfully. Encryption systems protect sensitive communications effectively. 1,200 hours. Midday operational assessment. 6 hours into current shift. All systems maintain normal operational status. Personnel performance meets established standards. No incidents requiring supervisory intervention or command notification. Communication traffic continues within expected parameters. Network security systems detect no threats requiring immediate response. Intelligence processing proceeds according to standard protocols. Supply systems maintain adequate inventory levels. The facility operates according to established procedures. Emergency response systems remain ready for immediate activation. Personnel training and expertise levels ensure effective response to any operational requirements. Shift supervisor assessment. Current operational status confirms facility readiness for all assigned missions. Personnel expertise and equipment capabilities provide comprehensive coverage of communication monitoring and security requirements. Standard procedures ensure continuous operational effectiveness. No anomalies detected requiring special attention or deviation from routine protocols. All systems function within design parameters. Personnel performance maintains professional standards appropriate for classified military operations. Classified Incident Report. Facility. NORAD Communications Complex Alpha 7. Date. Redacted +1 day. Shift Supervisor. Nolan Vex. Classification Level. Top Secret. Alert Status. Yellow. 0615 hours. Anomalous network activity detected. Liana Cross reports unusual traffic patterns identified during routine morning network analysis. Automated monitoring systems flagged 17 separate connection attempts from previously unknown IP addresses, all targeting secure military communication protocols. Connection attempts originated from geographically dispersed locations spanning 6 different continents, suggesting coordinated activity rather than random probing. The intrusion detection algorithms identified specific targeting of nuclear command network authentication servers. Each connection attempt employed sophisticated techniques designed to bypass standard security measures. Attack vectors demonstrated detailed knowledge of military network architecture, indicating advanced preparation and intelligence gathering. Traffic analysis reveals timing patterns inconsistent with typical cybercriminal activities. Connection attempts occurred in synchronized waves, with precise coordination between attack sources. The mathematical precision of attack timing suggests automated systems operating under centralized control rather than individual human operators. Network security logs document over 200 probe attempts within the past 6 hours, representing a 340% increase from normal background activity levels. Standard security protocols successfully blocked all penetration attempts, but the persistence and sophistication of the attacks warrant elevated monitoring procedures. 0630 hours. Expanded threat assessment. Breyer Hollis confirms similar attack patterns reported by Allied military communication facilities across NATO networks. Intelligence channels indicate parallel cyber intrusion attempts targeting British, French, and German military communication systems. Attack methodologies match those detected at our facility, confirming coordinated international operation. European Command reports successful blocking of penetration attempts, but notes unusual sophistication of attack tools and techniques. Pacific Fleet operations document identical probe patterns targeting submarine communication networks. Strategic Air Command facilities report coordinated attacks on missile communication systems. Intelligence classification indicates highest-level threat actors capable of sustained, multinational cyber operations. Attack coordination requires substantial resources and technical expertise beyond typical criminal organizations. Threat assessment suggests state-level or equivalent non-state actors with advanced cyber warfare capabilities. Russian Federation military networks reportedly experiencing parallel attacks, indicating targets include both NATO and Warsaw Pact communication systems. Chinese military communication networks show similar intrusion patterns. Attack scope encompasses global military communication infrastructure rather than specific national targets. 0700 hours. Enhanced monitoring protocols activated. Jace Morvan implements enhanced security monitoring procedures across all facility operations. Personnel assignments modified to provide continuous cybersecurity coverage during all operational hours. Additional specialists called in from off-duty status to maintain elevated monitoring capabilities. Security alert status elevated to yellow, requiring enhanced verification procedures for all external communications. Authentication protocols strengthened with dual verification requirements for sensitive system access. Network isolation procedures prepared for immediate implementation if threat levels escalate. Emergency response team placed on standby status. Technical specialists briefed on enhanced monitoring requirements and threat indicators. Communication protocols established for rapid information sharing between all facility departments during crisis situations. Sienna Mars coordinates accelerated supply acquisition for extended operational periods. Critical equipment inventory verified and backup systems tested. Emergency supply distribution procedures reviewed with all personnel. Supply chain security measures enhanced to prevent compromise of essential equipment deliveries. 0745 hours. Technical analysis results. Liana Cross completes detailed forensic analysis of captured attack data. Intrusion attempts employed zero-day exploits previously unknown to military cybersecurity databases. Attack tools demonstrate sophisticated understanding of military network architecture and security protocols. Source code analysis reveals custom-developed malware specifically designed for military communication systems. Code complexity indicates months of development by experienced programmers with detailed knowledge of target systems. Malware capabilities include network reconnaissance, authentication bypass, and communication interception. Network traffic analysis identifies command and control infrastructure spanning multiple countries and internet service providers. Infrastructure sophistication suggests substantial financial resources and technical coordination. Attack network designed for resilience against countermeasures and law enforcement disruption. Digital forensics indicate attackers possess detailed documentation of military communication protocols, including classified security procedures. Information access suggests either insider knowledge or successful previous penetration of classified military systems. 0830 hours. Coordinated response implementation. Facility coordination established with international military cybersecurity operations centers. Information sharing protocols activated with allied nations experiencing similar attacks. Joint threat assessment procedures implemented for real-time intelligence coordination. Counter-intrusion measures deployed across all facility networks. Enhanced logging and monitoring systems activated to capture detailed attack information. Network hardening procedures implemented to reduce vulnerability to identified attack vectors. Personnel security protocols enhanced with additional background verification requirements. Access control systems upgraded with biometric authentication for critical system access. Physical security measures increased around sensitive equipment areas. Communication procedures established with higher command authority for rapid threat escalation. Secure channels prepared for emergency notification of successful penetration attempts. Backup communication systems tested for operational readiness. 0900 hours. Intelligence pattern analysis. Breyer-Hollis identifies attack timing patterns correlated with global military communication schedules. Intrusion attempts intensify during periods of highest communication traffic, suggesting attackers monitor military operational patterns. Attack coordination demonstrates detailed understanding of military communication protocols and scheduling. Intelligence sources indicate similar coordination patterns observed during previous nation-state cyber operations. Attack sophistication and resource requirements consistent with advanced persistent threat groups associated with major military powers. Threat actor capabilities suggest potential for escalation to more aggressive cyber warfare tactics. Communication intercepts reveal discussion of military network vulnerabilities in encrypted channels associated with known threat actors. Intelligence indicates active development of additional attack tools specifically targeting nuclear command and control systems. Pattern analysis suggests current attacks represent reconnaissance phase of larger cyber operation. Attack persistence and expanding scope indicate preparation for more significant intrusion attempts against critical military infrastructure. 0930 hours. System Vulnerability Assessment. Technical Security Assessment reveals potential vulnerabilities in backup communication systems. Legacy equipment contains security weaknesses not present in primary systems. Vulnerability assessment identifies 17 potential attack vectors requiring immediate security hardening. Network architecture analysis confirms isolation capabilities sufficient to prevent total system compromise. Manual override systems maintain independence from computerized networks vulnerable to cyber attacks. Physical security measures provide adequate protection for critical system components. Emergency communication protocols tested and verified operational. Backup power systems confirmed capable of supporting extended operations during crisis situations. Supply chain security measures adequate for maintaining operational capabilities during sustained attacks. Personnel expertise assessment confirms adequate technical capabilities for responding to advanced cyber threats. Additional specialist support available from higher command authority if threat escalation requires expanded response capabilities. 1000 hours. Threat escalation indicators. Attack frequency increasing throughout morning hours, with probe attempts now occurring every 3.7 minutes on average. Attack sophistication demonstrating adaptive behavior, with modified attack vectors deployed in response to successful defensive measures. Liana Cross reports evidence of attack tool evolution in real time, suggesting human operators monitoring defensive responses and adjusting attack parameters accordingly. Adaptive behavior indicates active threat management rather than automated attack sequences. Intelligence channels report expanding attack scope to include civilian communication infrastructure supporting military operations. Commercial internet service providers supporting military communications experiencing coordinated intrusion attempts. Supply chain targets include equipment manufacturers and maintenance contractors. Threat assessment indicates current attack represents testing phase for more aggressive operations. Attack patterns suggest preparation for sustained cyber campaign against global military communication infrastructure. 1100 hours. Operational readiness status. All facility systems maintain operational capability despite ongoing cyber attacks. Security measures successfully preventing unauthorized access to classified systems. Personnel maintaining heightened awareness and response readiness. Enhanced monitoring procedures detecting attack patterns and enabling proactive defensive measures. Technical countermeasures proving effective against current attack methodologies. Intelligence sharing providing early warning of attack evolution and new threat vectors. Emergency response capabilities tested and confirmed operational. Backup systems ready for immediate activation if primary systems compromised. Supply levels adequate for extended operations under siege conditions. 1,200 hours. Shift assessment update. 6 hours of sustained cyber attacks successfully repelled through coordinated defensive measures. Attack sophistication and persistence confirm assessment of advanced threat actor capabilities. Current defensive posture adequate for protecting facility operations against observed attack vectors. Threat escalation potential remains high based on attack coordination and resource investment demonstrated by threat actors. Continued monitoring and enhanced security measures required to maintain operational security. Personnel readiness and technical capabilities confirmed adequate for responding to threat escalation. Facility maintains full operational capability while implementing enhanced security measures. Communication with higher command authority and allied facilities providing coordinated response to global cyber threat campaign. Priority alert. Coordinated cyber intrusion detected. From Specialist Nolan Vex, Military Communications Facility. To Command Authority, Regional Defense Network. Classification. Priority alert. Timestamp. 0347 hours. Incident summary. Coordinated cyber intrusion detected across multiple nuclear command networks. Investigation initiated following pattern recognition protocols established in previous incident reports. Evidence confirms sophisticated, multi-vector attack targeting critical infrastructure. Liana Cross completed forensic analysis at 0330 hours. Attack vectors traced to 17 distinct international IP addresses, with coordination patterns suggesting centralized command structure. Digital fingerprints indicate attackers possess detailed architectural knowledge of both US and Russian nuclear command systems. The intrusion methodology is too precise, Cross reported during emergency briefing. They're not probing randomly. Someone provided them with system blueprints. Technical assessment. Primary infiltration points identified at 3 network junctions. Secure satellite uplink stations, hardened fiber optic terminals, and classified frequency communication arrays. Each breach occurred within a 47-minute window, indicating precise timing coordination. Cross isolated affected systems at 0315 hours, implementing network segmentation protocols. However, attackers demonstrated advanced persistence techniques, maintaining access through previously unknown backdoor channels. Standard cybersecurity countermeasures proving insufficient against this level of sophistication. Breyer-Hollis confirmed parallel attacks on NATO allied networks through intelligence intercepts. Similar intrusion patterns detected at facilities in United Kingdom, France, and Germany. Attack signature matches indicate identical source organization. Intelligence chatter suggests this is preliminary reconnaissance, Hollis reported. They're mapping response capabilities before primary operation. Operational response. Jace Morvan activated Enhanced Security Protocol 7 at 0325 hours. All non-essential personnel restricted to designated areas. Access controls upgraded to biometric verification with mandatory dual authentication. Physical security measures increased to wartime readiness levels. Emergency communication protocols established with allied facilities experiencing similar intrusions. Coordination reveals attack timeline spans 72-hour window, with escalating sophistication at each phase. Sienna Mars secured all critical equipment and initiated backup system protocols. Emergency supply distribution completed to key personnel. Facility power systems transferred to independent grid operation to prevent external manipulation. Intelligence analysis. Hollis completed preliminary threat assessment based on intercepted communications and attack methodology analysis. Evidence indicates non-state actors with access to military-grade cyber warfare capabilities. Financial backing and technical resources suggest state sponsorship, though specific attribution remains unclear. Attack patterns demonstrate intimate knowledge of nuclear command protocols across multiple nations. This level of intelligence access typically requires either insider information or years of systematic espionage operations. Most concerning, attackers appear specifically targeting launch authorization systems rather than general military networks. This focused approach indicates operational objective beyond standard cyber espionage. Current status: network isolation procedures implemented across all critical systems. Primary communication networks operating on backup protocols with manual verification required for all command transmissions. Cross maintains active monitoring of all intrusion vectors while developing countermeasures. Current defensive posture holding, but attackers continue probing for additional vulnerabilities. Hollis established secure communication channels with allied intelligence services. Information sharing protocols activated to coordinate international response efforts. Facility operating under modified lockdown procedures. All personnel accounted for and secured within facility perimeter. External access restricted to emergency protocols only. Resource status: emergency supplies distributed according to Protocol 7 specifications. Food reserves sufficient for 96-hour independent operations. Water systems secured with backup purification capability. Power systems operating independently with fuel reserves adequate for extended operations. Communications equipment secured in hardened storage. Backup systems tested and operational. Technical equipment inventoried and protected against electromagnetic interference. All personnel equipped with emergency communication devices and tactical equipment appropriate to current threat level. Immediate concerns: attack sophistication suggests professional military cyber warfare unit. Technical capabilities demonstrated exceed most known threat actors. Coordination across multiple international targets indicates extensive operational planning. Timeline evidence suggests current intrusions are preparatory phase. Primary attack operation likely imminent based on escalating pattern analysis. Most critical: attackers possess detailed knowledge of nuclear command authentication procedures. This information could potentially enable unauthorized access to launch systems if security measures are compromised. Next phase protocols: continuous monitoring of all network activity with real-time threat assessment. Cross-developing targeted countermeasures based on attack vector analysis. Timeline for implementation: 6 to 8 hours. Hollis coordinating with international intelligence services to identify attack source and operational timeline. Priority focus on determining primary objective and preventing escalation. Morvan maintaining enhanced security protocols with emphasis on preventing physical infiltration. All facility access points secured with armed personnel maintaining vigilant watch rotations. Mars preparing for extended independent operations. Supply rationing protocols ready for implementation if external resources become unavailable. Command recommendation: escalate threat assessment to command level alpha. Request immediate deployment of specialized cyber warfare response team. Recommend coordination with international allies to establish unified defensive posture. Facility maintaining operational readiness while implementing maximum security protocols. All personnel prepared for extended crisis operations under wartime conditions. Situation assessment: sophisticated threat actor conducting systematic attack on global nuclear command infrastructure. Immediate response required to prevent potential compromise of launch authorization systems. End report. Addendum: technical data supplement. Network intrusion vectors identified. Satellite communication array Delta 7. Unauthorized access detected 0247 hours. Fiber optic terminal complex. Multiple breach attempts from 0251 to 0294 hours. Emergency frequency backup systems. Successful penetration confirmed 0301 hours. International coordination status. Allied facility contact established. 7 of 12 locations responding. Intelligence sharing protocols activated with NATO partners. Unified response coordination pending command authorization. Personnel readiness assessment. All essential personnel secured within facility perimeter. Emergency response teams equipped and positioned. Technical specialists maintaining continuous monitoring stations. Supply management coordinating resource conservation protocols. Threat level assessment. Elevated to critical status. Facility condition. Enhanced security operational. Next update. Scheduled 0500 hours unless emergency developments require immediate communication. Urgent confirmed breach of nuclear command networks. From Specialist Nolan Vex, Military Communications Facility. 2. Emergency Command Network. Classification. Urgent. Eyes only. Timestamp. 0623 hours. Situation critical. Confirmed successful penetration of classified nuclear command systems. Previous containment measures have failed. Attackers achieved administrative access to launch authorization protocols across multiple facilities. Immediate escalation to emergency response level alpha required. Liana Cross confirmed breach penetration at 0547 hours during routine security sweep. Intrusion detection systems bypassed through previously unknown vulnerability in authentication servers. Primary security barriers compromised through systematic exploitation of backup protocol weaknesses. They're inside the core systems, Cross reported during emergency briefing. Administrative privileges confirmed on launch sequence computers. They have the keys to everything. Breach assessment. Attackers successfully penetrated nuclear command authority network through coordinated multi-point infiltration. Access confirmed to launch code databases, targeting systems, and authentication protocols. Level of access sufficient for unauthorized launch sequence initiation. Cross-traced successful intrusion to modified firmware in secure communication hardware. Attackers installed persistent backdoors during previous reconnaissance phase, maintaining hidden access while security teams focused on network-level defenses. Digital forensics reveal modification timestamps spanning 96-hour period, indicating systematic preparation rather than opportunistic attack. Coordination with international facilities confirms identical breach methodology at 17 locations worldwide. Technical analysis indicates attackers possess complete operational knowledge of nuclear command architecture. Access patterns demonstrate understanding of safety protocols, suggesting capability to bypass standard fail-safe mechanisms. Intelligence confirmation. Breyer-Hollis intercepted communications confirming imminent operational phase of attack sequence. Signal intelligence indicates coordination between previously unknown threat actors and established cyber warfare organizations. Intercepted communications reference package delivery, scheduled within 48 to 72-hour window, Hollis reported. Context suggests preparation for actual launch sequence manipulation. International intelligence sharing protocols activated. Allied facilities reporting similar breach confirmations with evidence of coordinated timing. Attack operation spans multiple time zones with synchronized execution patterns. Most concerning intelligence. Intercepted references to mutual escalation protocols suggest attackers plan to trigger nuclear exchange between major powers through unauthorized launch sequences. Operational response. Jace Morvan implemented wartime lockdown procedures at 0605 hours. Facility sealed with armed security maintaining perimeter defense. All external access terminated except emergency communication channels. Emergency personnel recall initiated for all off-duty staff. Technical specialists reporting to emergency stations. Security teams positioned at critical infrastructure points within facility. Coordination established with remaining functional military units. Communication protocols shifted to manual verification with dual authentication requirements for all command transmissions. Physical security measures escalated to maximum threat response. Armed patrols established around critical equipment locations. Access restricted to essential personnel with continuous monitoring. System status. Primary nuclear command networks operating under manual override protocols. Automated launch sequence systems isolated from external networks. Manual verification required for all command inputs. Cross-maintaining continuous monitoring of compromised systems while developing isolation procedures. Backup communication systems activated with independent power supply protection. All classified databases transferred to air-gapped storage systems. Critical operational data secured in hardened storage with manual access controls only. Emergency communication established with allied nuclear facilities. Coordination protocols activated for unified defensive response. Resource management. Sienna Mars activated emergency supply protocols at 0610 hours. Critical equipment secured in protected storage. Emergency rations distributed to all personnel for extended isolation period. Facility power systems disconnected from external grid. Independent generators operating with fuel reserves calculated for 30-day autonomous operation. Water systems secured with backup purification capability. Medical supplies inventoried and distributed to emergency aid stations throughout facility. All personnel equipped with emergency communication devices and protective equipment appropriate for extended crisis operations. External communication. Direct communication established with Regional Defense Command. Situation briefing transmitted through secure emergency channels. Requests submitted for specialized cyber warfare response team deployment. Coordination protocols activated with NATO allied facilities. Information sharing established regarding attack vectors and defensive countermeasures. Contact maintained with civilian emergency management agencies. Coordination required for potential evacuation of surrounding population areas if situation escalates. Emergency hotline established with international nuclear monitoring agencies. Transparency protocols activated to prevent misinterpretation of defensive measures. Threat timeline. Intelligence analysis indicates attackers operating on compressed timeline. Evidence suggests primary operation scheduled within 48-hour window from confirmed breach. Cross estimates 12 to 18 hours required to develop effective countermeasures. Technical complexity of infiltration requires specialized tools and extended analysis period. Hollis reports increasing communication activity among threat actors. Signal patterns indicate preparation for coordinated action across multiple international targets. Mars calculates facility resources adequate for extended independent operation. Supply management protocols established for potential 30-day isolation period. Critical developments. Unauthorized access confirmed to launch code authentication databases at 7 international facilities. Capability exists for coordinated manipulation of nuclear launch sequences. Attackers demonstrate sophisticated understanding of nuclear command protocols across multiple nations. Technical knowledge level suggests insider information or extensive long-term espionage operation. Evidence indicates attack designed to trigger mutual nuclear response between major powers. Objective appears focused on initiating limited nuclear exchange rather than preventing launch capabilities. Communication intercepts suggest timeline acceleration. Primary attack phase initiation estimated within 24 to 48 hours based on preparation indicators. Command decisions required. Immediate deployment of specialized technical response teams. Current facility personnel insufficient for comprehensive countermeasure development against this level of sophisticated attack. Coordination with international partners essential for effective response. Unified defensive measures required across all compromised facilities simultaneously. Preparation for potential evacuation of non-essential personnel. Technical specialists must remain for continued operation, but support staff safety requires consideration. Authorization required for enhanced defensive measures, including potential offensive cyber operations against attack sources. Facility status. All personnel accounted for and secured within facility perimeter. Essential operations continuing under wartime protocols. Technical teams maintaining continuous monitoring of all critical systems. Emergency communication networks operational with backup power systems engaged. Coordination maintained with external command authority through secure channels. Defensive preparations complete. Facility prepared for extended independent operations under maximum threat conditions. Immediate action required. Situation assessment. Confirmed breach of nuclear command systems with capability for unauthorized launch sequence manipulation. International coordination essential. Technical countermeasures development priority critical. Request immediate authorization for enhanced emergency response protocol. End urgent report. Classification. Urgent. Eyes only. Distribution. Emergency command network only. Next update. Continuous monitoring. Immediate notification of developments. Flash alert priority Omega. From Nolan Vex, Communications Specialist, to Command Authority. Time 1447 Zulu. Classification. Eyes only. Launch codes have been compromised. This is not a drill. Liana Cross confirmed at 1422 that unauthorized access to U.S. strategic nuclear command systems is complete. Russian Federation systems show identical breach patterns. The attackers now possess administrative control over launch authorization protocols for both nations' arsenals. Cross's cybersecurity diagnostics reveal a sophistication level that exceeds our previous threat assessments. The intrusion bypassed 7 layers of encryption and 3 separate authentication systems. Timestamps indicate synchronized penetration of both US and Russian networks occurred within a 4-minute window. This level of coordination requires extensive preparation and intimate knowledge of both systems' architectures. Breyer Hollis intercepted communications 43 minutes ago, indicating the attacker's timeline has accelerated. Intelligence analysis suggests initiation of hostile action within the next 48 to 72 hours. The intercepted transmissions reference specific missile system designations from both arsenals, confirming the attackers have detailed operational knowledge of strategic weapons deployment. I have implemented Code Red protocols as of 1430. All external communications to the facility are now restricted to emergency channels only. Jace Morvan has coordinated facility lockdown with all entry points sealed and biometric access limited to essential personnel only. Security sweeps are ongoing every 30 minutes. Sienna Mars activated emergency supply distribution at 1435. Facility inventory includes 96 hours of food supplies for current personnel count, backup power systems with 120-hour capacity, and water reserves sufficient for 1 week under rationing protocols. Medical supplies are adequate for minor injuries but limited for trauma treatment. Communications equipment includes hardened backup systems with satellite uplink capability. The facility's defensive systems show no signs of physical compromise, but our network isolation may not be sufficient to prevent further digital infiltration. Cross is implementing additional firewall protocols and has recommended complete disconnection from external networks except for essential military communications. Current personnel status. All 5 essential staff remain operational and accounted for. No signs of external physical threats detected. Perimeter sensors functioning normally. However, the digital warfare campaign continues to intensify. At 1420, Cross detected unauthorized activation sequences initiating at 3 separate missile installations. 2 facilities in the continental United States and 1 Russian site in the Urals region showed launch preparation activities beginning without proper command authorization. These sequences were terminated after 90 seconds, but the demonstration confirms the attacker's capability to trigger actual launches. Hollis's intelligence assessment indicates this was a test run. Communication intercepts suggest the attackers are verifying their control systems before proceeding with their primary objective. The partial activation sequences provided them with confirmation that their access is functional and their commands will execute as intended. The situation has moved beyond containment. We are now operating under wartime protocols with the understanding that nuclear exchange may be imminent. All standard operating procedures are suspended in favor of crisis management protocols. Cross has established direct communication with 3 allied cybersecurity facilities. Coordinated response efforts are underway, but the attacker's head start provides them significant tactical advantage. Our countermeasures are reactive while their offensive capabilities remain proactive. Morvan reports that external communication with command authority is intermittent. Several military communication networks have experienced systematic failures over the past hour. This pattern suggests the attackers are isolating facilities to prevent coordinated response efforts. Mars has inventoried all emergency equipment. 2 portable communication units are functional with encrypted channels to Allied facilities. Backup power systems have been tested and are operating at full capacity. Emergency medical supplies have been redistributed to accessible locations throughout the facility. The facility's blast protection systems were activated at 1440. Primary blast doors are sealed with manual override capability only. Air filtration systems are operating in contamination protection mode. All personnel have been issued radiation detection equipment and emergency protective gear. Intelligence indicates the attacker's ultimate objective remains unclear. The stolen launch codes could enable them to trigger limited nuclear exchange designed to create global instability, or they may be planning more extensive deployment. Either scenario requires our continued operation to provide countermeasures and coordination support. Cross's analysis suggests the attackers are using a distributed command structure, making them difficult to trace or neutralize through conventional cybersecurity methods. Their access points span multiple continents and utilize advanced anonymization techniques. Standard counter-cyber operations are proving insufficient. Hollis confirms that similar attacks are occurring simultaneously at facilities worldwide. NATO allies report identical breach patterns, while intelligence from Russian sources indicates their systems show the same vulnerability exploitation. This global scope confirms the attackers' extensive resources and preparation. The next 72 hours will determine whether nuclear conflict can be prevented. Our facility remains operational and committed to maintaining communications and coordination capabilities, regardless of external circumstances. All personnel have acknowledged their understanding that evacuation may not be possible if the situation deteriorates further. Emergency protocols for extended isolation are now in effect. Mars has established rationing schedules to extend supply duration to maximum efficiency. Water consumption reduced to essential requirements only. Power conservation measures implemented for all non-critical systems. Communications equipment prioritized for power allocation. Cross continues monitoring all accessible networks for signs of imminent attack execution. Early warning systems remain functional despite ongoing digital assault. Her expertise in cybersecurity architecture may be our only advantage in detecting launch preparations before they reach completion. Morvan has coordinated with the 2 other functional military facilities within communication range. Joint tactical response plans are being developed should the attackers proceed with their timeline. Resources are being allocated for maximum operational efficiency under crisis conditions. The facility's strategic position and hardened infrastructure make it suitable for extended independent operation. However, our effectiveness depends on maintaining communication with Allied facilities and command authority. If those connections are severed, our tactical options become severely limited. Current threat level maximum. All personnel are committed to preventing nuclear exchange through whatever means necessary. Facility operations will continue until mission completion or operational capacity is exceeded. Standing by for further developments. End transmission. 1515 Zulu. Confirmed missile launches detected in Eastern Europe. 2 unidentified projectiles launched from previously secured installations. Both intercepted by automated defense systems, but launch capability has been demonstrated. The attackers are no longer testing. They are executing. All personnel to battle stations. This is now active warfare. Vex out. Operational status report. Day 3. From Nolan Vex, Facility Operations Commander, to Allied Command Network. Time 6:30 Zulu. Classification: operational immediate. Facility remains operational under siege conditions. External assault on global nuclear infrastructure continues with increasing intensity. We have adapted to extended isolation protocols and established sustainable operational procedures. Liana Cross has been working continuously on system restoration efforts. Her cybersecurity analysis confirms the attackers have expanded their network penetration to include 17 additional nuclear facilities across 6 nations. The attack pattern shows systematic targeting of command and control systems rather than direct weapon activation. This suggests their objective is prolonged disruption rather than immediate nuclear exchange. Cross has successfully isolated our primary systems from external networks while maintaining secure communication channels with 3 allied facilities. She implemented a rotating encryption protocol that changes authentication keys every 4 hours. This has prevented further intrusion attempts, but our defensive posture remains reactive. The manual override procedures I referenced in my initial security briefing have become essential for operational continuity. Cross and I have established direct hardware controls for all critical systems, bypassing network-dependent protocols entirely. These procedures require continuous manual monitoring but provide security against digital intrusion. Briar Hollis maintains intelligence gathering operations through hardened communication channels. Her reports indicate the coordinated attacks have expanded beyond military targets to include civilian nuclear power facilities and research installations. 43 facilities worldwide have reported unauthorized access attempts in the past 72 hours. Hollis's analysis of intercepted communications reveals the attackers are operating with detailed knowledge of nuclear facility security protocols. They demonstrate familiarity with backup procedures, emergency protocols, and manual override systems. This level of intelligence suggests either extensive preparation time or assistance from personnel with insider knowledge. Intelligence intercepts show the attackers have established communication with extremist organizations in multiple regions. The stolen nuclear codes appear to be part of a larger destabilization campaign designed to trigger regional conflicts and governmental collapse. Nuclear threat is being used as leverage for political manipulation rather than direct warfare. Jace Morvan has restructured facility operations for extended independent function. Work schedules have been modified to 12-hour shifts with mandatory rest periods to prevent operational fatigue. All personnel maintain readiness for immediate crisis response while conducting routine maintenance and monitoring duties. Morvan established secure communication protocols with the 2 remaining functional military coordination centers. Joint tactical planning sessions occur every 8 hours to coordinate response efforts and share intelligence. Resource allocation has been optimized between facilities to maximize operational efficiency. The facility's defensive systems have been upgraded with additional manual controls and hardened communication equipment. Morvan coordinated installation of backup power systems in redundant locations throughout the facility. These modifications ensure continued operation even if primary systems are compromised. Sienna Mars has implemented comprehensive resource management protocols for extended operations. Food supplies have been rationed to extend operational capacity to 21 days at current consumption levels. Water reserves remain adequate for 14 days under conservation measures. Medical supplies are sufficient for routine needs but limited for emergency treatment. Mars located the emergency supply cache I documented in our initial facility survey. The cache contains additional communication equipment, emergency medical supplies, and backup power sources. These resources extend our operational capacity by approximately 40% and provide redundant systems for critical functions. Supply inventory includes specialized equipment for nuclear facility operations, radiation detection instruments, emergency protective gear, and communication devices hardened against electromagnetic interference. Mars has distributed this equipment to ensure all personnel have immediate access during crisis situations. The facility's strategic location provides natural protection against physical assault while maintaining communication capabilities with external networks. Our position allows us to monitor multiple communication channels simultaneously while remaining difficult to target for direct attack. Cross reports successful development of countermeasures against the specific intrusion techniques being used by the attackers. Her analysis of their methods reveals they are exploiting previously unknown vulnerabilities in nuclear command systems. She has developed patches for these vulnerabilities and transmitted them to allied facilities. Cybersecurity protocols now include continuous network monitoring, automated intrusion detection, and immediate isolation procedures for compromised systems. Cross has established direct communication with cybersecurity specialists at other facilities to coordinate defensive measures and share technical solutions. Hollis confirms that global nuclear tensions remain elevated but have not progressed to active warfare. The attackers appear to be maintaining nuclear threat as leverage while pursuing other objectives. Intelligence suggests they are coordinating with multiple terrorist organizations to maximize political impact. Current intelligence indicates the attacker's timeline has been extended due to stronger than expected resistance from cybersecurity countermeasures. Their original 72-hour timeline has been disrupted, providing additional time for defensive preparations and tactical response development. Morven's tactical assessment indicates our facility is well-positioned to continue operations indefinitely under current conditions. Personnel remain fully operational with no signs of degraded performance. Equipment functions at optimal levels with regular maintenance schedules maintained. Facility defenses have been tested against simulated attack scenarios. All systems respond appropriately to threat conditions. Personnel demonstrate proficiency with emergency procedures and crisis response protocols. Operational readiness remains at maximum levels. Mars has established communication with supply networks to arrange emergency resupply when conditions permit. Priority items include extended food supplies, medical equipment, and replacement parts for critical systems. Delivery schedules depend on external security conditions. The facility's operational procedures have been adapted for extended isolation while maintaining full functionality. All essential services continue without interruption. Communication capabilities remain robust with multiple redundant systems available. Cross continues monitoring global nuclear facility networks for signs of additional attacks or escalation. Her early warning systems provide advance notice of threat developments. Cybersecurity countermeasures are being continuously updated based on new intelligence about attacker techniques. Hollis maintains surveillance of communication channels used by the attackers. Intelligence gathering operations provide tactical advantage by revealing their planning and coordination activities. This information is shared with allied facilities to improve collective defense capabilities. Current operational status: all systems functional, all personnel operational, all tactical objectives achievable. Facility prepared for extended operations under current threat conditions. The next phase of operations will focus on developing offensive cybersecurity capabilities to neutralize the attacker's network control. Cross has identified potential vulnerability points in their communication systems that could be exploited to regain control of compromised nuclear facilities. Tactical coordination with allied facilities continues to improve defensive positions and develop joint response capabilities. Resource sharing arrangements ensure optimal distribution of critical supplies and equipment between operational centers. Standing by for tactical implementation of countermeasures against hostile networks. All personnel remain committed to mission success and prevention of nuclear exchange through coordinated defensive operations. End transmission. Facility status summary: 6:45 Zulu.
Personnel, 5 opérationnel, 0 casualty.
Power. Backup systems operational, 105 hours remaining capacity. Communications, 3 secure channels active, encryption rotating. Supplies, 18 days food, 11 days water, medical adequate. Defensive status, all systems operational, manual overrides functional. Threat level, sustained maximum, no immediate escalation detected. Vex command out. Priority flash message. NORAD Communications Facility. From Staff Sergeant Nolan Vex, Communications Specialist. TO all remaining command authority. Classification: eyes only. Timestamp: 0347 hours. Critical failure, multiple system compromises. Primary cybersecurity infrastructure has suffered catastrophic failure. Specialist Liana Cross reports complete loss of our defensive network architecture as of 0330 hours. The attackers have successfully penetrated our final firewall barriers and established administrative control over core systems. Current threat assessment. Maximum. Confirmed unauthorized launch sequences. Intelligence Officer Briar Hollis has verified unauthorized missile activation protocols initiated at the following locations: Plesetsk Cosmodrome, Russian Federation. 2 ICBMs armed and targeting coordinates uploaded. Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. Launch sequence initiated. Abort codes rejected. Baikonur Launch Complex, Kazakhstan. 3 tactical missiles showing active targeting systems. RAF Fylingdales, United Kingdom. Early warning systems compromised. False target data injected. Launch authorization bypass successful at multiple facilities. Standard abort procedures failing systematically. First confirmed launches. At 0315 hours, Briar Hollis intercepted emergency communications from Eastern European monitoring stations. 2 medium-range ballistic missiles launched from undetermined locations. Impact zones unknown. Radio chatter indicates targets may be uninhabited test ranges, but confirmation impossible due to communication blackouts. The launches appear designed to trigger automatic response protocols without causing immediate mass casualties. Psychological warfare component confirmed. Emergency communication protocols activated. Our primary satellite uplinks have been severed. Backup HF radio systems experiencing systematic jamming across all frequencies. I'm implementing the manual relay procedures documented in Emergency Protocol 7 Alpha. Operations Manager Jace Morvan has successfully established contact with 3 remaining functional facilities. Peterson Space Force Base, partial operational capacity, 40% systems compromised. Cheyenne Mountain Complex, full lockdown, manual systems only. Offutt Air Force Base, communication sporadic, status unknown. All other military communication nodes presumed compromised or offline. Facility evacuation procedures. Jace Morvan has initiated evacuation protocols for non-essential personnel. Current facility complement reduced from 47 to 12 critical operations staff. Evacuation complicated by external security threats and transportation system failures. Remaining personnel: 4 communications specialists, 2 intelligence analysts, 2 cybersecurity technicians, 2 supply coordinators, 2 security personnel. All exits except Emergency Access Point Charlie have been sealed. External perimeter security systems offline. Critical supply shortages. Supply Chain Coordinator Sienna Mars reports severe equipment failures affecting our operational capacity. Primary generators, 72 hours fuel remaining. Backup power systems, 48 hours capacity. Water filtration, operating at 30% efficiency due to contaminated intake. Food supplies, 8 days at current consumption rates. Medical supplies, adequate for minor injuries only. Ammunition, 240 rounds mixed caliber. Emergency supply Cache Alpha, 7 location compromised. Cache Bravo 3 access route blocked by debris from external explosions. Cache Charlie 1 remains accessible but requires 6-hour round trip under hostile conditions. Defensive system failures. Liana Cross reports complete failure of our cybersecurity countermeasures. The attackers have demonstrated capabilities exceeding our threat assessment parameters. Real-time adaptation to our defensive protocols. Simultaneous coordination across multiple time zones. Deep knowledge of classified system architectures. Ability to maintain persistent access despite isolation attempts. Our facilities' defensive systems are compromised. Internal network traffic being monitored by hostile actors. This communication may be intercepted. External situation assessment. Breyer Hollis has compiled intelligence from remaining communication channels. NATO command structure experiencing systematic communication failures. Russian Federation military communications similarly compromised. Chinese military networks showing identical attack patterns. Multiple governments implementing emergency protocols. Civilian infrastructure failures escalating in major population centers. Mass civilian evacuations reported in 23 major cities worldwide. Pattern analysis indicates coordinated global attack designed to collapse military command authority while maintaining civilian population centers intact. Operational casualties. Technical Sergeant Williams, communications antenna maintenance, lost contact 0245 hours, presumed casualty of external explosion. Airman Rodriguez, perimeter security patrol, found unconscious with head trauma, stable condition. Senior Airman Chun, cybersecurity response team, severe electrical burns from equipment overload, medical attention required. Staff Sergeant Thompson, intelligence analysis, missing since power failure, search suspended due to security protocols. Medical bay operating beyond capacity. No medevac available due to airspace restrictions. Immediate tactical priorities. Maintain communication with remaining functional facilities. Implement manual override procedures for nuclear systems within our operational zone. Conserve critical resources for extended isolation period. Establish secure perimeter using remaining defensive capabilities. Monitor intelligence channels for coordination opportunities. Resource allocation orders. Jace Morvan has implemented the following resource conservation measures. Power consumption reduced to essential systems only. Water rationing, 2 liters per person per day. Food rationing, 1,800 calories per person per day. Fuel reserves allocated, 60% operational, 40% emergency evacuation. Ammunition distributed, 20 rounds per security team member. System restoration attempts. Liana Cross continues attempts to regain system control using manual access points. Progress limited by the sophistication of the attack protocols. Estimated time for partial restoration, 18 to 24 hours minimum, assuming no additional system compromises. Current restoration priorities. Nuclear launch abort capabilities. Secure communication networks. Facility defensive systems. Intelligence gathering equipment. Intelligence update. Breyer Hollis reports intercepted communications suggesting the attackers are operating from multiple international locations with advanced planning and resources. Voice analysis indicates non-state actors with possible government backing. The attacks appear designed to create controlled chaos rather than total destruction. Nuclear launches target remote areas to trigger fear responses without immediate mass casualties. The goal appears to be governmental collapse through systematic infrastructure failure. Facility security status. External perimeter compromised at 3 points. Unknown contacts detected 2.3 kilometers southeast of our position. Infrared sensors indicate vehicle movement consistent with reconnaissance activity. Internal security systems operating on emergency power. Motion sensors functional in critical areas only. Camera network reduced to 40% coverage. Emergency contact protocols. If communication with this facility is lost, emergency coordination should be attempted through the following alternate channels. HF radio, 14.300 MHz at 0600 and 1800 hours daily. Satellite phone, emergency frequency Delta 77. Physical courier, emergency assembly point Bravo, coordinates in sealed orders. Current mission status. Despite catastrophic system failures, facility remains operational with critical functions maintained. Nuclear launch prevention protocols active. Intelligence gathering continues despite equipment limitations. Personnel morale remains focused on mission completion. All remaining staff committed to preventing unauthorized nuclear launches within our area of responsibility. Next scheduled report, 0800 hours, pending communication capability and tactical situation. End flash message. Additional technical notes. Liana Cross, cybersecurity specialist. The attack demonstrates unprecedented sophistication. The adversaries have implemented adaptive algorithms that modify their approach in real time based on our defensive responses. They appear to have complete schematics of our system architecture. Most concerning, they're not attempting to cause maximum damage. They're maintaining system functionality while asserting control. This suggests they want infrastructure intact for post-attack operations. Recommended immediate action. Implement manual isolation of all automated systems. Prepare for extended manual operations using analog backup procedures. Intelligence Addendum. Briar Hollis, Intelligence Officer. Pattern analysis confirms this is a globally coordinated operation targeting military command structures specifically. Civilian infrastructure damage appears to be collateral rather than intentional. The attackers have detailed knowledge of nuclear command protocols for multiple nations. This suggests either long-term intelligence gathering or insider access at the highest levels. Threat assessment. This is not a conventional warfare scenario. The attackers are implementing a systematic decapitation strategy designed to collapse governmental authority while preserving population centers and economic infrastructure. Supply status update. Sienna Mars, Supply Coordinator. Critical equipment failures accelerating. Generator efficiency dropping due to fuel contamination. Water filtration system requires manual cleaning every 4 hours to maintain minimal output. Emergency cache Alpha 7 compromised by external security threats. Recommend immediate retrieval from cache Charlie 1 despite risks. Route reconnaissance required. Medical supplies critically low. No surgical capabilities available. Recommend evacuation of injured personnel if secure transport becomes available. Tactical assessment. Jace Morvan, Operations Manager. Facility can maintain essential operations for 6 to 8 days with current resources and personnel. Extended operations possible if external supply access restored. Defensive posture adequate for current threat level but insufficient for determined assault. Recommend preparation for evacuation if tactical situation deteriorates further. Priority objective. Maintain nuclear launch prevention capability at all costs. Secondary objectives expendable if necessary for primary mission success. Operational continuity assessment. This facility remains functional and committed to mission objectives despite severe system compromises. All essential personnel accounted for and operational. Nuclear launch prevention protocols maintained. Facility prepared for extended isolation operations. Manual override procedures tested and confirmed functional. Message ends. Transmission interrupted. Attempting reconnection. Priority intelligence report. NORAD Communications Facility. From Staff Sergeant Nolan Vex, Communications Specialist. TO. All Functional Command Authority. Classification. Top Secret. Eyes Only. Timestamp. 1,127 hours. Breakthrough attack pattern analysis complete. Intelligence Officer Briar Hollis has successfully decoded the attackers' operational communications through frequency analysis of their command signals. The intercepted data reveals the true scope and objective of this coordinated assault. Critical discovery. Non-state actors confirmed. The attackers are not representing any national government. Voice pattern analysis and communication protocols indicate a sophisticated non-state organization with access to state-level resources and intelligence. Briar Hollis reports, the communication signatures match no known governmental or military organization in our databases. However, the operational coordination and technical capabilities exceed most national intelligence services. Key indicators: command structure operates across 12 time zones simultaneously. Technical capabilities suggest access to classified system architectures from multiple nations. Financial resources sufficient for sustained global operations. Personnel with advanced training in military protocols and cybersecurity. Operational objective decoded. Through systematic analysis of attack patterns and target selection, we have determined the attacker's primary objective: Global governmental destabilization through controlled nuclear crisis. The evidence: selective targeting, nuclear launches directed at uninhabited test ranges and remote locations. Infrastructure preservation, civilian systems damaged but not destroyed. Communication disruption, military command structures isolated while civilian networks remain partially functional. Psychological warfare, fear-based manipulation designed to trigger governmental collapse. Cybersecurity specialist Liana Cross has identified the attack methodology. They're not trying to start World War III. They're using the threat of nuclear war to collapse existing governmental authority structures. Detailed attack pattern analysis. Breyer Hollis has compiled comprehensive intelligence on the attacker's strategy. Phase 1, intelligence gathering, completed 6 months ago. Systematic penetration of military communication networks. Collection of nuclear command protocols from US, Russian, Chinese, and NATO systems. Identification of key personnel and facility vulnerabilities. Establishment of persistent access to critical infrastructure. Phase 2 network infiltration, completed 72 hours ago. Simultaneous compromise of nuclear command systems globally. Installation of control mechanisms while maintaining normal operations. Positioning for coordinated activation of unauthorized protocols. Phase 3 controlled nuclear crisis, currently active. Selective launch of nuclear weapons at non-critical targets. Systematic disruption of military command communications. Maintenance of civilian infrastructure to prevent total collapse. Psychological pressure designed to trigger governmental emergency protocols. Phase 4, authority vacuum creation, projected. Sustained nuclear threat to maintain crisis conditions. Systematic failure of governmental response capabilities. Economic destabilization through sustained emergency conditions. Population displacement and social disruption. Confirmed. Attackers possess complete system access. Liana Cross has determined the attackers have administrative control over nuclear systems at the following confirmed locations. United States facilities, Malmstrom Air Force Base, 15 ICBMs under hostile control. F.E. Warren Air Force Base, 8 ICBMs compromised. Minot Air Force Base, 12 ICBMs with corrupted targeting data. Strategic submarines USS Pennsylvania and USS West Virginia, launch systems accessed. Russian Federation facilities. Plesetsk Cosmodrome, 6 ICBMs with unauthorized targeting protocols. Dombarovsky Air Base, 4 mobile launchers under hostile control. Strategic submarine Yuri Dolgoruki, communication systems compromised. Additional compromised assets. United Kingdom, HMS Vanguard submarine fleet. France, Strategic Nuclear Command at Ile Long. China, DF-41 mobile launcher units, quantity unknown. India, Nuclear Command Authority communications severed. Pakistan, Strategic Systems status unknown. Window for intervention identified. Critical intelligence breakthrough. The attackers require continuous communication with compromised systems to maintain control. Their command structure operates through encrypted satellite networks that can be disrupted. Liana Cross reports, their control mechanisms aren't hardwired. They're using sophisticated remote access tools that require sustained connectivity. If we can isolate their command networks, the compromised systems will default to manual control. Countermeasure strategy developed. Operations Manager Jace Morvan has coordinated with remaining functional facilities to develop a multi-phase response. Phase 1, communication disruption. Coordinated satellite jamming across all compromised frequencies. Implementation of communication blackout protocols. Activation of hardened military communication networks. Phase 2, manual override implementation. Simultaneous activation of manual control systems at all compromised facilities. Physical isolation of automated launch systems. Personnel deployment to critical control points. Phase 3, system restoration. Systematic restoration of nuclear command authority. Implementation of enhanced security protocols. Establishment of secure communication networks. Resource requirements for counteraction. Supply Coordinator Sienna Mars has calculated resource requirements for implementing countermeasures. Personnel requirements. Technical specialists, 47 personnel across 12 facilities. Security personnel, 156 personnel for facility protection. Communications specialists, 23 personnel for network restoration. Equipment requirements. Portable satellite jamming systems, 8 units. Emergency communication equipment, 15 portable units. Manual override hardware, 23 control interfaces. Backup power systems, sufficient for 72-hour operations. Current resource status. This facility can support counteraction operations for 48 hours with current supplies. Extended operations require emergency resupply from Cache Charlie 1. Tactical advantage identified. The attacker's sophisticated coordination has created a vulnerability. Their command structure operates on predictable communication schedules. Briar Hollis has identified their operational pattern. Primary coordination, every 4 hours at 0200, 0600, 1000, 1400, 1800, 2200 hours. Technical updates, every 2 hours on odd-numbered hours. Emergency protocols, continuous monitoring on backup frequencies. Coordination with allied facilities. Successful communication established with Peterson Space Force Base. Operational capacity 60%. 12 technical personnel available. Cheyenne Mountain Complex, full manual operations. 8 communication specialists ready. Offutt Air Force Base limited operations. 4 personnel confirmed. Joint coordination protocol established. Synchronized countermeasure implementation at 1,400 hours. Coordinated satellite jamming operations. Manual override procedures activated simultaneously. Enemy capability assessment update. Intelligence analysis indicates the attackers possess technical capabilities, real-time adaptive cybersecurity tools, advanced satellite communication networks, detailed knowledge of military protocols across multiple nations, sophisticated psychological warfare expertise, operational limitations, dependence on satellite communications for system control, limited personnel for simultaneous facility management, requirement for continuous monitoring to maintain control, vulnerability to coordinated countermeasures, psychological warfare component. The attackers are using psychological manipulation as a primary weapon. Fear amplification. Controlled nuclear launches designed to trigger maximum panic with minimal casualties. Authority erosion. Systematic demonstration of governmental inability to protect populations. Communication chaos. Information warfare designed to prevent effective coordination. Economic disruption. Market collapse through sustained emergency conditions. Countdown to implementation. Coordinated countermeasure operations commence in 2 hours 33 minutes. All facilities confirmed ready for simultaneous implementation of satellite communication jamming, manual override activation, system isolation protocols, command authority restoration, facility operational status, personnel, 12 critical operations staff maintaining essential functions. Power, 54 hours remaining on emergency generators. Communications, manual systems operational for coordination. Security, perimeter maintained, external threats monitored. Supplies, adequate for 48-hour intensive operations. Threat assessment revision. Previous assessment, global nuclear war imminent. Current assessment, controlled destabilization operation with nuclear threat as psychological weapon. The attackers do not intend full-scale nuclear exchange. Their objective is governmental collapse through sustained crisis conditions while preserving infrastructure and population centers for post-collapse control. Manual override procedures confirmed. All nuclear systems within our operational area can be returned to manual control using Emergency Protocol 12 Delta. Physical access to control systems required at each facility. Procedure verification completed. Primary control interfaces functional. Backup manual systems tested and operational. Security protocols. Personnel authorized for emergency access. Communication coordination. established with allied facilities. Enemy communication intercept. Briar Hollis has successfully intercepted attackers' command communications. Phase 3 proceeding as planned. Government responses following predicted patterns. Maintain psychological pressure through controlled launches. Phase 4 authorization pending confirmation of authority collapse indicators. This confirms their strategy. They're waiting for governmental collapse before implementing their final phase operations. Final intelligence assessment. The attackers represent a sophisticated non-state organization with the objective of replacing existing governmental structures through systematic crisis creation. They possess state-level resources and capabilities but are vulnerable to coordinated countermeasures. Window for successful intervention: 72 hours maximum. After this time frame, sustained crisis conditions may trigger the governmental collapse they seek, making restoration significantly more difficult. Countermeasure authorization. All remaining functional command authority has authorized implementation of coordinated countermeasures. Operations commence at 1,400 hours with the objective of disrupting attacker command networks, restoring nuclear command authority, preventing additional unauthorized launches, re-establishing governmental operational control. Mission priority maximum. This facility is committed to implementing countermeasures with all available resources. Personnel prepared for sustained operations under hostile conditions. Operational confidence assessment. Success probability: 73% for partial restoration, 45% for complete restoration. Risk factors: enemy adaptation to countermeasures, resource limitations, coordination challenges. Acceptable losses: all non-essential systems and personnel expendable for mission success. Final preparation status: all personnel briefed on countermeasure procedures. Equipment tested and positioned for immediate implementation. Communication coordination with allied facilities confirmed. Technical implementation notes: Liana Cross. Satellite jamming equipment calibrated for maximum effectiveness against attacker frequencies. Manual override systems tested and confirmed functional. Backup procedures prepared for system restoration. Estimated time for complete system restoration: 6 to 8 hours after successful countermeasure implementation. Intelligence coordination. Briar Hollis. Enemy communication monitoring continues. Real-time intelligence available for tactical adjustments during countermeasure implementation. Psychological warfare countermeasures prepared. Accurate information distribution to prevent panic. Coordination with remaining governmental authority for public communications. Resource allocation. Sienna Mars. All available resources committed to countermeasure operations. Emergency supplies positioned for extended operations. Personnel equipment distributed for maximum operational effectiveness. Tactical coordination. Jace Morvan. All personnel assignments confirmed. Coordination protocols with allied facilities established. Backup procedures prepared for contingency operations. Facility prepared for maximum effort operations. Next operational phase: final confrontation. Countermeasure implementation commences in 2 hours 17 minutes. Message ends. Operation Restore Counterattack initiated. Priority operational report. Classification: eyes only. From Communications Specialist Nolan Vex. Facility: Stratcom Secondary Command. Time: 0347 hours. Status: critical operations active. Tactical situation update. Liana Cross has initiated phase 1 of our cyber counteroffensive. Her workstation displays 17 active terminal windows, each running specialized penetration routines designed to reverse the attacker's control protocols. The facility's primary server room hums with maximum processing load as our systems attempt to regain administrative access to compromised nuclear command networks. I've identified the primary attack vector. Liana reports without looking up from her screens. They're using a distributed botnet with nodes in 43 countries. Each node is running identical payload delivery systems targeting specific military infrastructure points. Briar Hollis monitors intelligence feeds from her station, providing real-time updates on global attack progression. confirming hostile activity at Cheyenne Mountain, Pentagon Communications, and 3 NATO facilities in Europe. They're executing simultaneous operations across all major nuclear powers. The tactical display shows red indicators spreading across the global map. Each indicator represents a compromised military facility where unknown actors have gained unauthorized access to nuclear launch systems. Our window for preventing additional unauthorized launches is narrowing with each passing minute. Counterattack coordination. Jace Morvan coordinates our multi-facility response from the Tactical Command Center. Malmstrom Air Force Base has regained partial control of their Minuteman systems. Offutt Air Base reports successful isolation of compromised networks. We need to synchronize our restoration timeline with allied facilities. The operation requires precise coordination. If we restore systems too early, attackers might trigger additional launches before other facilities can implement countermeasures. If we wait too long, the ongoing network penetration could compromise additional missile systems currently under manual control. Timeline confirmed, Jace announces. Synchronized restoration begins in 14 minutes. All facilities execute manual override protocols simultaneously at 0400 hours. Sienna Mars manages our resource expenditure for this critical phase. Emergency power reserves are at 63%. Backup communication systems are consuming power at twice normal rates. Our supply of specialized computer components is sufficient for current operations, but any equipment failures during the counterattack would be catastrophic. Backup generators are online and stable, Sienna reports. Emergency cooling systems maintaining optimal temperature for server operations. We have sufficient resources for extended tactical operations. Cyber warfare execution. Liana Cross's fingers move rapidly across multiple keyboards as she executes coordinated attacks against the hostile networks. Deploying custom malware packages designed to exploit vulnerabilities in their botnet architecture. Each package is targeting specific nodes based on geographic location and network configuration. Her screens display scrolling code and network traffic analysis. Green indicators begin appearing as our countermeasures successfully penetrate hostile systems. The attacker's distributed network, while sophisticated, was designed for offensive operations rather than defensive security. First wave successful, Liana confirms. 17 hostile nodes neutralized. Their communication protocols are disrupting. I'm detecting defensive responses from their remaining systems. Briar Hollis provides tactical intelligence on the attacker's response patterns. Hostile networks are attempting to establish backup communication channels. They're using encrypted satellite links to maintain coordination between remaining nodes. The cyber warfare escalates as both sides deploy increasingly sophisticated tools. Our facility's network security systems detect multiple incoming attacks as the hostile actors attempt to regain their compromised positions. Automated defense systems block most intrusion attempts, but several require manual intervention. Manual override operations. The synchronized restoration phase begins exactly at 0400 hours. Nolan Vex personally oversees the manual override of nuclear command systems, working directly with authentication protocols that bypass all computerized controls. Physical key systems require dual authorization. Jace Morvan and I simultaneously turn authentication keys at opposite ends of the command center. Mechanical tumblers click into position, providing manual control over systems that have been compromised by digital intrusion. Manual authentication confirmed. I report. Nuclear launch systems now operating under direct physical control. All computerized launch protocols disabled until cybersecurity restoration is complete. Similar operations occur simultaneously at 17 allied facilities worldwide. The coordination required is unprecedented manual override of nuclear systems while maintaining defensive operations against ongoing cyber attacks. Liana Cross continues her assault on hostile networks while our nuclear systems operate under manual control. Hostile botnet reduced to 31 active nodes. Their coordination protocols are failing as communication links are severed. Intelligence breakthrough. Breyer-Hollis intercepts critical communications from the attacking networks. Confirmed intelligence. Hostile actors are non-state entities operating from multiple locations. Primary coordination appears to be occurring from servers in 3 countries with limited extradition treaties. The intelligence reveals the attacker's strategic objective. Rather than triggering full-scale nuclear war, they intended to create sufficient chaos to destabilize governmental authority worldwide. The nuclear threat was designed to collapse economic systems and create power vacuums they could exploit. Their timeline shows planned escalation over 72 hours. Breyer continues. Multiple waves of attacks designed to gradually increase nuclear tensions until governmental systems collapse under public panic. This understanding changes our tactical approach. Instead of simply restoring defensive capabilities, we can target their operational command structure directly. Offensive operations. Liana Cross redirects her cyber operations to target the attacker's command and control systems. I've identified their primary coordination servers, deploying specialized attack packages designed to corrupt their operational databases. The offensive cyber warfare requires precise timing. We must disable their command capabilities while simultaneously restoring our own systems. Any gap in our defensive posture could allow them to regain control of compromised networks. Target servers identified in 3 locations, Liana reports, executing simultaneous penetration of their command infrastructure. Estimated time to complete system corruption, 6 minutes. Jace Morvan coordinates defensive operations while our offensive cyber attack proceeds. All facility personnel maintain tactical positions. Security teams report no hostile physical presence detected. Perimeter remains secure. Sienna Mars monitors our power consumption during maximum operational tempo. Emergency power reserves at 47%. All critical systems stable. Backup cooling maintaining optimal operating temperatures. System restoration. As Liana Cross's offensive operations succeed in corrupting hostile command systems, we begin restoring normal operations to compromised networks. The process requires careful verification of each system component to ensure no hostile code remains embedded in critical infrastructure. Hostile command servers offline, Liana confirms. Their coordination capabilities eliminated. Remaining botnet nodes operating without central control. Beginning systematic restoration of compromised military networks. The restoration process follows strict protocols. Each network component undergoes complete security verification before reconnection to broader systems. Critical nuclear launch systems remain under manual control until full cybersecurity can be verified. Breyer-Hollis confirms the cessation of hostile activities across global networks. Intelligence feeds show significant reduction in attack traffic. Hostile coordination appears completely disrupted. Allied facilities reporting successful restoration of secure communications. Operational success. At 0427 hours, Liana Cross reports complete neutralization of the hostile network infrastructure. All identified attack vectors eliminated. Hostile botnet destroyed. Military communication networks secure and operational. The synchronized counterattack succeeded in preventing additional unauthorized nuclear launches while restoring proper command authority over global nuclear systems. Manual override protocols proved essential for maintaining control during the cyber warfare operations. Jace Morvan coordinates the transition back to normal operational status. All facilities report successful restoration. Nuclear launch systems returning to standard command protocols. Threat neutralized. Our tactical response demonstrated the effectiveness of coordinated manual override procedures combined with offensive cyber capabilities. The attacker's sophisticated network infrastructure could not withstand simultaneous physical and digital countermeasures. Sienna Mars confirms our resource status following maximum operational tempo. Power reserves sufficient for continued operations. All critical equipment functional. Supply inventory adequate for extended security operations. The immediate crisis has been resolved through coordinated tactical response, but the sophistication of the attack indicates ongoing vigilance will be required to prevent similar threats to critical infrastructure. End operational report. Post-crisis status report. Operational security restored. Final operational assessment. Classification. Official use only. From Communications Specialist Nolan Vex. Facility. Stratcom Secondary Command. Time. 1,215 hours to 72 hours post-crisis. Status. Enhanced security protocols active. Threat neutralization confirmation. Liana Cross has completed comprehensive analysis of all network systems affected during the cyber intrusion. Her post-incident forensics confirm complete elimination of hostile code from military communication networks. Specialized scanning protocols have verified the integrity of nuclear command systems across all affected facilities. Final security assessment complete. Liana reports from her workstation. 0 traces of hostile malware detected in any critical systems. All network vulnerabilities exploited during the attack have been patched. New intrusion detection systems are operational and monitoring all external connections. The sophisticated attack infrastructure that threatened global nuclear systems has been completely dismantled. Analysis of captured data reveals the attackers operated from 17 different countries using compromised civilian infrastructure to mask their true locations. International law enforcement agencies are coordinating arrests based on intelligence gathered during our counter-operations. Briar Hollis provides final intelligence assessment on hostile actor capabilities. Confirmed neutralization of primary attack network. Secondary reconnaissance indicates no backup operational infrastructure. The organization responsible for the attack appears to have been completely disrupted. System restoration status. Nuclear launch systems have been restored to proper command authority following extensive verification procedures. Manual override protocols proved essential during the crisis and have been incorporated into standard operating procedures for similar threats. All affected missile systems underwent complete diagnostic testing before returning to operational status. The limited nuclear exchange that occurred during the initial attack phase was contained to 2 tactical warheads detonated in unpopulated areas. No civilian casualties resulted from the unauthorized launches. Radiation monitoring confirms no environmental contamination requiring evacuation procedures. Jace Morvan coordinates the implementation of new operational protocols developed during the crisis. Enhanced security procedures are now standard for all nuclear facilities. Multi-factor authentication systems require both digital and physical verification for any launch authorization. Manual override capabilities have been strengthened at all strategic locations. Global military communication networks have been upgraded with quantum encryption protocols that are theoretically immune to current cyber attack methods. The crisis demonstrated vulnerabilities in existing systems that have now been systematically eliminated through hardware and software improvements. Enhanced cybersecurity protocols. Permanent cybersecurity improvements implemented following the attack include real-time monitoring of all network traffic entering military systems. Liana Cross designed automated response protocols that can isolate compromised networks within seconds of detecting unauthorized access attempts. New security architecture provides multiple layers of protection. Liana explains while reviewing system specifications. Primary networks operate with complete isolation from external internet connections. Secondary backup systems maintain operational capability even if primary networks are compromised. Tertiary manual systems provide ultimate fail-safe control. The facility now operates 3 separate network infrastructures that can function independently. If attackers compromise one system, operations continue through backup networks while automated countermeasures neutralize the threat. This redundancy ensures continuous operational capability during any future cyber attacks. Artificial intelligence monitoring systems analyze network traffic patterns to identify potential threats before they can access critical systems. These systems learned from the attack patterns used during the crisis and can now recognize similar techniques deployed by other hostile actors. Supply chain security. Sienna Mars has implemented enhanced supply chain security protocols to prevent compromise of critical equipment before delivery to military facilities. All electronic components undergo comprehensive security testing before installation in sensitive systems. New procurement procedures require multiple verification steps for any equipment connected to nuclear command systems, Sienna reports. Suppliers must meet enhanced security standards and submit to regular inspections. All components receive cryptographic verification to prevent insertion of malicious hardware. Emergency supply caches have been expanded and distributed to ensure adequate resources during extended crisis operations. The facility can now operate independently for 6 months without external supply deliveries. Critical spare parts for essential systems are maintained in secure storage areas. Equipment redundancy has been increased to prevent single points of failure that could compromise operational capability. Every critical system now has multiple backup components ready for immediate deployment if primary systems fail during crisis conditions. Personnel security enhancements. All personnel with access to nuclear command systems now undergo enhanced background investigations every 6 months instead of annually. Continuous monitoring systems track unusual behavior patterns that might indicate potential security threats or compromise by hostile actors. New training programs ensure all facility personnel understand proper response procedures for cyber attacks on critical infrastructure. Regular exercises test our ability to implement manual override protocols while maintaining defensive operations against network intrusions. Jace Morvan coordinates expanded personnel rotations that prevent any individual from maintaining long-term access to the most sensitive systems. Security protocols now require dual authorization for any access to nuclear launch systems. No single person can initiate launch procedures without verified authorization from multiple sources. Psychological evaluation procedures have been enhanced to identify personnel who might be susceptible to recruitment by hostile organizations. Regular counseling sessions help identify stress factors that could compromise decision-making during crisis situations. Facility operational status. The facility operates under enhanced security measures that have become permanent features of our operational environment. Perimeter security includes additional sensor systems and automated response capabilities. All access points require biometric verification and continuous monitoring. Power systems have been upgraded with additional backup generators and extended fuel storage. The facility can maintain full operational capability for extended periods without external power sources. Emergency communication systems provide redundant contact with military command structures. Environmental systems maintain optimal operating conditions for sensitive electronic equipment while providing adequate life support for extended lockdown periods. Air filtration systems can operate in sealed mode for weeks if external contamination requires isolation protocols. Physical security measures include enhanced barriers and defensive systems capable of repelling coordinated attacks on facility infrastructure. Armed security teams maintain constant readiness for potential threats to critical operations. Lessons learned integration. The crisis demonstrated the importance of maintaining manual override capabilities for all critical systems. Computerized automation provides efficiency during normal operations, but manual controls are essential when digital systems are compromised by sophisticated attacks. Coordination between multiple facilities proved crucial for successful threat response. Regular communication exercises now ensure all strategic locations can maintain operational coordination even when primary communication networks are disrupted. Resource management during extended crisis operations requires careful planning and extensive backup supplies. The facility has increased storage capacity for essential materials and implemented rotation schedules to prevent degradation of critical supplies. Personnel training now emphasizes rapid adaptation to changing threat conditions. The ability to quickly shift from routine operations to crisis response modes determined our success in preventing catastrophic nuclear exchange. Ongoing vigilance requirements. While the immediate threat has been neutralized, similar attacks remain possible as adversaries develop more sophisticated capabilities. Continuous monitoring of global cyber threat environments helps identify emerging risks before they can threaten critical infrastructure. Intelligence sharing with allied nations has been enhanced to provide early warning of coordinated attacks on military systems. International cooperation proved essential during the crisis and continues to be vital for preventing future threats. Breyer Hollis maintains surveillance of known threat actors who might attempt similar operations. Ongoing intelligence collection indicates several organizations are studying the attack methods used during this crisis. We must remain prepared for evolved versions of these tactics. Technology development continues to focus on hardening critical systems against cyber attacks while maintaining operational efficiency. The balance between security and functionality requires constant adjustment as threats evolve. New operational equilibrium. The facility now operates under a new baseline of enhanced security that has become standard procedure. Personnel have adapted to additional verification requirements and expanded monitoring systems. Operational efficiency has been maintained despite increased security measures. Regular testing of emergency procedures ensures our response capabilities remain sharp. Monthly exercises simulate various attack scenarios to verify our ability to implement countermeasures quickly and effectively. Supply chain monitoring continues to prevent compromise of critical equipment before installation. Vendor security requirements have been permanently elevated to address the sophisticated nature of modern threats. The crisis response demonstrated our ability to adapt quickly to unprecedented threats while maintaining operational control of critical systems. These capabilities will be essential for addressing future challenges to national security infrastructure. Final assessment. Operational security restored. Nuclear command systems operate under enhanced protection protocols. Cybersecurity measures provide multiple layers of defense against sophisticated attacks. Personnel training ensures rapid response to emerging threats. Supply chain security prevents equipment compromise. International cooperation strengthens global defense capabilities. The facility maintains heightened security posture with ongoing vigilance against evolving cyber threats to critical infrastructure. Enhanced operational procedures developed during the crisis have been permanently integrated into standard protocols. End final report. Status: secure, vigilant, operational.